Hello there everybody, I am Fuzzy Face and welcome to another edition of this playthrough of Motorsport Manager 2016. We are still with the Predator Racing Group. Last time out we were in Belgium at Ardennes. We finished 9th with Santa Ana and 14th with Latin. Not too bad a result, which obviously does mean that we are still up in the top half of the Constructors table in 4th place. So we're now just past the halfway point of the season. We're into the final 5 races now, so if we can keep some of this form going, hopefully we can stay to around this place. We do obviously have one win this season. Santa Ana's quite high up in the driver's standing, which doesn't bode too well for her for the upcoming race, because she's going to be starting from pretty much near the back of the grid. There's only these cars that are going to be behind her there. We are currently working on a new suspension part, and yeah, we're waiting for the car to be repaired after the last race. We've got some decent money in the bank. We're still making decent money every race. We do have a couple of sponsors coming up after this race. A lot of these, but we have now gone up to 2-star sponsor level, so maybe we can go ahead and improve some of these for the next race. Hopefully if we get another decent result and don't drop away from this 2-star sponsor level, we should be able to improve on some of these and hopefully make a bit more money as well. So I am considering, with the extra money we got, we did get a bit of money extra last time with this upfront payment of 1.2 million, so I am considering building another part after this maybe, and then leave it at that, and then we should have plenty of money to do all the work I've got planned at the end of the season for the HQ. The car repair's finished, so what can we improve this time? We're still working on the engine. Yeah, we definitely want to get that engine up to this 178 level, so we don't need to build another new engine this year. I might consider doing it at the end of the year and building a few riskier parts. Something I'm probably going to be aiming for, but as we stand right now, I don't really want to improve the engine too much. We've got everything else up to what it can be there, so it's just the engine to do. Could improve a couple of these parts a little bit more, so we will work on those just to get those up to scratch, and of course we've got tons of time before the next race to get those done. So we don't have to worry about doing anything here too much now towards the end of the season. Obviously we could get the reliability up on a few of these parts a little bit more, but none of them are low enough that they cause any problems during the race, so we don't have to focus on them at the minute. We will put them in the queue, even though we're not working on it. They still get a little bit work done on them. We'll go ahead and put these smaller parts through that. So we're in Munich this time. We actually got a 2nd place in Munich last year. It was during the middle of our good run last year where we got 4 2nd places in a row. It was Latin that got that 2nd place, but we started on the grid last year from 1st and 7th. So Latin started the race in 1st place, finished 2nd. Santa Ana started the race in 7th place and finished the race in 16th place. So obviously we're going to be a bit further down the grid, so I don't think a podium is going to be on the cards this year for the Munich race. I think we're going to struggle towards the end of the year to get up to the top of the field, since we're starting lower down the grids, unless one of them, probably Latin, and will have maybe a first or 2nd, because she will be dropping down the order a bit now as it starts to get a bit harder to get results. Gonna see what we can build here. Just gonna see what we can sort of get towards the end of the season, because I think, yeah, should we build another new engine so we can get that up to 218 before the end of the season? Would that do? And if we build that, then before the end of the season we could obviously get another one of these done with this one, top speed plus 40. That wouldn't be any higher than the 218, would it? Because that would just go to 194 to 18. Yeah, so we might think about building that part towards the end of the season. What else have we got? We don't have the worst engine as it goes now. We've got 8. Gearbox is not the worst either, and the suspension is not the worst either. So all the 3 parts we can build now, we're not the worst on the grid, and we're now up to the 8th best car on the grid. So which part is still the worst? It's still the suspension that's the worst part. Should we go ahead and do that? It's going to take reliability down, but that's not going to be a problem because we should be able to get that fixed before we put it in the car. What does that do? That take? Oh, we can build 3 parts on this, so we can actually go ahead and build that. This is to a 125179. What's the current part that we just built? We just got this new suspension part. 125174. 12. That's not 12. What did we get to? 125164. So if we go, because this is the worst part that we've got, 125174. So we would go. Would we go something like that? That takes us up to 179. So could we do that? Sets us up to 179. It's not a lot better than what we've got at the moment. An extra 15 for that money. Maybe that's just something we're gonna have to. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get much better than that. What are the brakes like? What's the best brakes that we've got? Not the brakes, because that's the gearbox. We do have a 168. A 168. So how high can we get on the gearbox? Yeah, so there's not much extra we could actually do this year to get above these. We're not making much of an improvement now. So maybe we should hold off, and obviously we can't use this one either because it's +1 risk. So maybe that's us finished for parts now, so maybe we should, since this is cheap enough, we'll build this and then decide between probably build another riskier engine towards the end of the season. We'll go ahead and, which one was it? That one? Yep. Do that. We're not going to get to use it in the race, I don't think, because it's not ready in time to get this reliability up enough. But we might go ahead and try to see what it comes out as. So we've got to work now. If we can get rid of all these, we've got to work on this new suspension part before the start of the next race. And we are going to put it in Santa Ana's car. We keep giving her the best car. See how close we can get. We're going to focus on reliability just to have it ready. 4 days after, would that get us to about 80%? We'll try that one. Yeah, we'll put the sliders there just to do that. So let's head on to get this other suspension part built and then do the race in Munich. Right, so the other suspension part's being built now. We do have it here, so we do have 2 that are pretty similar. Managed to get that up a bit, up to 69%, so that should be ready to go for the race. This one we're not going to work on until after the race because we want to get, we obviously want to get this ready totally for the race maybe. Or is 69% good enough? Yeah, we'll go ahead and just do that. We'll do that. It's not going to be ready for the race, but at least we can get some work done on it. And it's obviously not the best part we have because it's one that we have to upgrade to get to this level. No, we'll go ahead and take them out just so we can get this finished. It's pretty much good enough now because we do have the nurse on Santa Ana's car, so maybe we can go ahead now, focus more on that for the last 3 days, try and get that up a little bit. So Munich is coming up. Where are we at with that part now? Last check we got that up to a 152 now. We do have it in 153 it says there. So where does that get us here? Still 9th. Not too bad. And as always we go for this 450,000, or we might not have this next time because we will be swapping sponsors hopefully. Maybe getting a bit of a better one. Maybe not. Not quite sure if we're going to get to it yet. But we do have quite some good parts now in this car, considering when we started these were rated like 10. Which ones were where? I'm sure these were rated like 1 or 2. I know the brakes were, but obviously those are split brakes now. So we'll go ahead and do the practice. for the German Grand Prix in Munich. You can increase your marketability by performing well in races and adding a helipad to your HQ. I don't know if a helipad helps you if you've only got 2 stars, whether it just unlocks that 5th star or whether you build the helipad and it does give you a little bit of boost as well. I'm not sure. If anyone does know, leave a comment down below, because if it is, it might be useful building the helipad, because I think it's only 750,000, but I don't think it has an effect until you get to 4 stars and are looking to unlock that 5-star sponsor value. So anyway, we've got my setup that I used last time in Munich. Obviously she wants more downforce this time. That's what we used last time. Let's go ahead and fill everything else out, see if it makes a difference. It shouldn't do to the downforce because that's just the wings. So that's the setup that we used last time here, and we were rated at 94%, so obviously she wants that changing this time. So we're just going to adjust this to bring this into the mechanics recommendation. Right, so obviously that sends the handling out a bit too much, so we'll just drop that one. We'll go ahead and do that for the first one. It's not quite exactly as we got what I used last time, and we got to use the intermediates because it's raining just for the first lap, so we're going to have to use the intermediates. And we're going to give Latinen the setup that we used last time around this track, because her mechanic, the range for her mechanic isn't as extreme as Santa Ana's. Both drivers do like different setups around the tracks, and obviously that's because they're running different parts as well, so what works for Santa Ana isn't going to necessarily work for Latinen, because Santa Ana's got the better car, so obviously her car's got more speed, so obviously the setup needs to be a little bit different. So we're just going to send them out for 1 lap here on the Inters and see how they do. So they've both come back in from those initial laps there. The little adjustments we made on Santa Ana's car have given a pretty decent setup to start out with, so we're going to try and go ahead and copy that on Latinen's car. 17.5, 27.5, 31 and 50. No, I want to cancel that. So we're in the halves up here, like so. I think it was 31 and 50. Totally forgotten now, but we'll go ahead and run that. Do we still need this by the time they're coming round? Yeah, we're still getting the intermediates because we're just doing 1 lap again. And we've got a rating of 97, so there's not much to change there. Maybe the handling, just a couple of notches. We'll go ahead and try that and see what that does for Santa Ana, and we'll send them both out again just to go around the track 1 more time and then bring them straight back in. Right, so that's their second lap done. They're both a lot happier with the setup. This time we've got the handling right now, so we just need to try and get the speed balance right here. So we don't want to change this little thing here, so we just got to... Which way should we go again? Should we go that way a little bit? That's not going to change that. We'll see if she's any happier with that one. And the track's dry but going to get a bit wetter now. She got enough time to try and get a lap in, maybe? No, but we're going to send her out on the mediums and then bring her back in again. And then Latinen. She's pretty comfortable with this. Obviously not the best at the moment that we can get, but I'm not going to try and change too much. We'll just knock a couple of things about. We went the other way with the speed balance, didn't we? So maybe if we try... It's going a long way, isn't it? So maybe that down. We'll try that one. She's going to come out on the mediums as well. I'm just going to go around again. Go around the track 1 more time. And then we'll think about setting some lap times. Right, so we're back in after that 3rd lap. We went the wrong way with the speed balance on Santa Ana's car there. So, which way did we go? We went more to the right. So we need to go back this way. Can we move that way a tiny bit without affecting that? Maybe if we drop the gear ratio 1 more in that direction, should get us somewhere close to it being an excellent racing, but excellent rating. But we're going to go ahead and think about setting a lap time this time on the intermediates. And the setup last time for Latinum worked out extremely good there. We've got a 98%, we're happy with that, we're not going to mess with it too much. In fact, we're not going to mess about with anything at all, so we're just going to send them out. And we're going to set some lap times this time. So Latinum's first out of the pits, obviously, because she didn't have to change anything with the car. So we're about halfway through there, and we've got two setups that we're pretty good with there. We're almost there with Santa Ana. So I don't think anyone's set a time just yet with the with any tyres. No one managed to get out in that little dry stint. Obviously we're getting up to full wet conditions soon, so hopefully we can get a decent lap in with this one. And I think that'll probably be the only lap time we're going to set, because it's going to end up being too wet to get a better time than this one. We're going to go ahead and have them push as they come around to the line, just to see what sort of lap time we can get. And Latinum's got past those two cars and got a clear track, and so has Santa Ana, so hopefully we should get some sort of idea how quick we're going to be on this track, how quick we're going to be. But it's a lot wetter than it was earlier, so we're going to be slowed down quite a bit over some of the times the other teams got earlier on. 3.3 seconds behind. It looks like we're going to be down the bottom end so far, but that's obviously because the track is a lot wetter than what the other timings were. So 19th and 20th as expected. And yeah, I think we're going to leave practice there, unless Santa Ana isn't as happy with hers. But yeah, I'm not gonna try and set another time here, because I don't think we're going to get anywhere close to what some of the teams did on the dry track, on the slightly drier track earlier. And yeah, so we'll come back for the race. So practice is finished, we're back now for the race. Obviously we're aiming for 9th or above to get hold of this 450,000 from the sponsors that we can get. We don't really need to use this nurse stat anymore, but we'll keep going with it, just because it does get us to the end of the race. And as usual, put the race trim and the risk taker in, which gives when Latinum goes for the faster pit stop, she's got less chance of making a mistake. Car setup, we managed to get Santa Ana. Fully happy with everything there with that last setup that we ran. We were at 99% with her. Where's she starting? She's starting somewhere from the back, so what are we going to try and do out of this? We're going to go... can only do probably 6 laps, can't we? So there's no point using these medium tyres at any point, and we're going to get any rain. We're going to go on the softs, but we're going to aim to go a little bit longer than everyone else. There's quite a lot of performance difference between these two, and not a lot durability difference, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to try and have Santa Ana go a bit longer, a bit slower, and hopefully then when the other cars come in, she can go ahead and then push and get a little bit of clear air to try and move up the order. Latinum is starting in 5th, so we're going to do the opposite with her. We're going to go ahead and have her push and try and keep up and hold some of the positions at the start. So we're going to go ahead and have her push there. We're going to have her push the new tyres, but we're going to not burn excess fuel here. We're going to try and conserve some fuel, just so we can reach that 6th lap. Latinum we might look to bring in about lap 4 or 5. So we'll go ahead and have a look how we get off the start in here. Latinum in 5th. She gets away well. Santa Ana not too bad, got a couple of inside moves there, up into 14th, up into 12th there as she comes around. 12th, and Latinum got up into 4th as well. Obviously this car in first place, pulling away there. He's pulling away well ahead of the pack. Latinum back down into 5th now. Santa Ana holding, no, not holding on. She's dropped down. Obviously her soft tyres are pretty cold here, so what's the temperature like? We've got cold temperatures today, so we're going to have colder tyres, aren't we? So we should get a bit more life out of these tyres. So we'll go ahead and have her attack now to get these tyres up to temperature. Got to keep an eye on the weather. Hopefully we don't get any rain and mess up the little strategies that we come up with. But then again, we do seem to Oh, it did work out last season in our favour, the rain and stuff, but I don't think it'll work too much in our favour anymore due to the patch, because they fixed how the AI works with wet races and changing tyres. So I'm not too bothered about her staying down the bottom, because we're going to have her try and go a bit longer than everyone else. Her tyres are getting up to the right temperatures now. We're going to turn her down now, because we want to get her through probably another lap. No, we can have her push a little bit more. She's still running 6. She's got to get in quite a nice... The cars aren't backed up around her as they usually are. Yo, we might need to turn her down a little bit. We'll go ahead and have a push now, since she's got the tyres up to temperature. She's doing quite well at holding on around the back of the grid there, even though she's not pushing the engine, and she's moved up into 15th. Latinen's holding this 6th place rather well. And a lot of cars are coming in for their pit stops now, so we should be able to get 2 laps out of Latinen, and we should be able to get another 3 laps out of this. So we'll go ahead and turn her down now, so she can make these 2 laps. Hopefully have a fuel left to push just before she comes into the pits. I think we've got enough in the tyres to get around, so we need to make her last a little bit longer, so we'll turn them down. We'll put her into push now. So Latinen holding on to 5th here. So let's see what we can get out of these after we come around for the first pit stops. A lot of the cars are coming in now. Oh, we've got a safety car. A safety car, so that's really messed up our clear air strategy there, because Latinen would have had clear air after this pit stop. But maybe she's going round again. So maybe we're going to get a little bit of a gap, maybe. Probably not much of a gap, so she'll probably end up coming out of the pits now in a worse position. We'll go ahead and fill her up to the top, and we'll go ahead and do fast. There's no rain coming, so we'll go ahead with the softs again. Just a warning that we don't have any fuel, so we can get Santa Ana in now. New pair of softs, fuel to the top. We'll go ahead and do fast. So I think she's just got into the pits there as the safety car came out. So hopefully she has a good pit stop. Yep. Can we move up from 12th into 10th? 8th there coming out of the pits. So that worked out quite well there for Santa Ana. The pit stop there, the safety car coming out, because a lot of these cars behind that did the earlier pit stop, we sort of managed to get the jump on them a bit. But it's not going to work out for Latinen here, because she's stuck behind the safety car. So she's going to have to come into the pits, whereas all these others have pitted because she'd already gone past, and she's going to come out at the back of the grid because she'd just gone past the pit lane when the safety car came out and ended up behind the safety car as well. So she's definitely going to have to make this pit stop because we don't have enough fuel to go on. You're going to turn that down so she's not using as much fuel. Yeah, and absolutely disheartener there for Latinen for the strategy. But then again, she does have a bit more fuel to go a bit longer than everyone else since she's coming in now. It's just a shame that she was the only one that went past the pits then. And it does look like she's going to come out at the back. No, she might not just come out at the back. A lot of cars are trying to catch up and get past her. She's coming out in 15th. Is she? She's fighting with that yellow car there, isn't she? Yeah, so she's come out in 15th. We've got Santa Ana up into 7th now. And the safety car is coming in on this lap. So yeah, we're going to run the same strategy. Try and get both of these into a bit more clear air around lap 12. Hopefully there's not another safety car to mess up the strategy again. And we're coming up now to where we're going to have to push these a little bit. We won't do it too much, we just need that. We'll keep an eye on them just to make sure no one's going to try and fly past them here. Hopefully Santa Ana doesn't lose his pace. Everyone in front of us shooting off there. Latinen lost a place in the 16th there. Santa Ana making some moves there. Gets past that car in 7th. And again up into 5th. Can she keep it on this corner? Yes, she can. Santa Ana bursting through a lot of these cars there. And she's gaining on the car in front. Plus the tyres are a bit cold, so can we push these a little bit more? Her tyres are warming up her tyres are warming up, so that's alright. So we're doing quite well with running the engine in medium there, so we're not falling too far behind. That's what we're going to stick with. Just need to try and get these tyre temperatures up to scratch. It doesn't look like Santa Ana's going to end up getting 4th here at some point. But we're losing ground on 3rd place. As the front of the pack's pulling away. As we're stuck behind this car. So maybe we should go ahead and put it into overtake mode and try and get past it. Because I'm not quite sure if it's holding us up or not, or whether we're actually struggling to get past it. Turn her down here. I don't think we're going to get past her on these straights and these corners, I mean. And then we'll turn back the engine up for this long straight and hopefully we can get past it here. She tried too early there and lost it for the straight. We'll go ahead and turn that back down again. So a lot of the leaders then came into the pits. I wonder if we've got another lap in us after this lap. Have we? I wonder what that'd be like if we put that into low. Would we get another lap out of it? No, we won't. So we're going to have to come in on this lap now. Make our final pit stop. That'll just get us through to the end of the race and we're going to go fast again. Whereas Latinen, we can... looks like we're going to get some clear air at some point with her to go ahead and push. Tyres are up to temperature, so we'll go neutral to try and make them last a little bit longer. Santa Ana's now down into 5th. She lost a couple of places in as we were messing with Latinen's strategy. So we'll see where we are after this round of pit stops. Santa Ana's got another lap in her here. It looks like she's gonna... she's not quite clear air, is it? So we can go ahead and have her push now. We can go ahead and have her attack as well. Get around this lap and she'll be coming in for a pair of softs as well. Maybe give her just a lap too much fuel so then we can have a push if we need to. So Santa Ana's back out now. She does have some excess fuel. Tyres are up to temperature, so I'll then push the new tyres a little bit with whatever going to won't go over into attack mode. Hopefully once these pit stops sort themselves out we're back to around where we were. Latinen flying round now. Into 6th, so where can she get back out of the pits in? And dive in now, fast pit stop. Great and good, 7.2 seconds, that's very good there. Turn it down because we don't want her to push yet and we'll just push the new tyres, not overtake mode. So Santa Ana's now running in 6th. So hopefully we can stay in this, but she's got a couple of cars behind her challenging her, but they're on the medium tyres that are do have a little bit worse condition than ours, so hopefully we can stay ahead of this car. There's no rain due now till the end of the race. And Latinen doesn't have an extra lap of fuel, so we can put her into overtake mode now. Hopefully she can, she's dropping down again. So hopefully we've got enough now. We should be able to get to the end of the race here and keep this 6th place. We are we gaining? No, we're losing. No, yeah, we are gaining on 5th place here. No, we're holding up as we go around these corners, aren't we? And then losing the time again. But they do have worse off tyres than ours. So we can go ahead and try to turn this down to see if we can outlast these. Maybe a couple of these might start to run down to where we can start catching the field. We do sort of catch them a little bit. It's in the straight, so maybe we're a bit faster than the car in front. But I'm happy with 6th place. 17th is not the greatest, but it'll do. So we're coming round to the final lap now. So we should have... Do we have excess fuel for both cars? We do. We have enough tyres. We're on the final lap. I don't think we've got no chance of catching now. But I'm happy with 6th place there. And Latinen's dropping down further. She's got some life in these tyres, so we'll go ahead and have a push and see if we can get past a couple of these cars in front. Don't think we will do. Santa Ana's got a gap behind and a gap in front, so we can go ahead and leave her now. think she's comfortable there. And Latin has managed to get up into 14th there. Absolutely brilliant driving there, and up into 13th. And there's a couple of these cars you can catch around here maybe. Round to the end, there's a couple of cars running out of steam. Up into 10th, so that's a... And Santa Ana managed to get up into 3rd there somehow at the end. So we actually managed to climb up onto the podium. A lot of cars seem to have problems there towards the end with fueling and stuff like that. So it's another good result around this circuit. We managed to get 2nd place here last time, but we've actually managed to get another podium here. And both cars inside the top 10, which is the important thing. An absolutely brilliant result once again. Things just seem to be going right for us this season. So 3rd and 10th we came out there. Gatto, he had a drive-through penalty at some point in the race at 18. That's 29 points we picked up there. And another trophy, finishing in 3rd place. Which means, I'll go back. So Santa Ana's now in 5th in the driver's standings. And Lattinen's here in 15th place. Santa Ana tearing it up this season. Being able to be in 5th place with the standard of car that she's got is absolutely amazing. We are now pulling out a little bit of a gap here to 5th place. And we're close to the Firebird in 3rd place. We've got no chance of catching these, which I wouldn't want to do this season anyway, because if we went up with this state of car we would have no chance and we'd just be at the back of the grid every race in the series above. But this is going to be it would be an excellent finish if we can hang around and hang on to that place there. And yeah, we'll just let the game save there once it loads up. So we finished 3rd and 10th. Absolutely brilliant there at the end from both drivers. We actually came 1st overall in that race, so I think that's our first. I think that's the first race where we've actually come 1st overall, as in terms of the results for the whole team. So everyone's totally happy, 100%, 100%, 100%. Both drivers still increasing a bit. If she can get up to 3 stars here, that's pretty decent for this level. I'm not quite sure how much she's going to improve. She's improving slightly, but her star rating doesn't seem to go up. And plus she's a little bit older, so maybe it doesn't increase as much. So we're still undecided about having Latinum for next season. And we did get the 450,000 there, so we're back up over the 6 million mark, even with building the new parts. And yeah, so another absolutely brilliant race there. 3rd and 10th. I'm not quite sure how many times we've had both cars in the top 10. I think that's maybe the 2nd or 3rd time. It doesn't happen too often. But we are doing excellent this season. And next time we're at the British Grand Prix. We had a 2nd there again last season, so hopefully, yeah, I think that's the first time we finished in the top 10 at the British Grand Prix last season. So we've come a long way from last season. I'm not sure how many points we are ahead of last season. I think we must be closing in pretty much on the same points that we got last season. And yeah, so we've got another suspension build coming up that we're going to try and get up to scratch. Hopefully that's done in time for the next race, but anyway, until that time we're going to be leaving this one here. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up down below. Leave me a comment if you think I should be doing anything different. If you're enjoying this series, leave me a comment, because we are doing kinda well considering we're with the Predator team. And if you want to be updated with further updates from this series, or you want any further news, please subscribe to this channel. And yeah, that's it until next time. Goodbye.